Coach, just looking at, you talked about the conversations having with Kevin, Devin, and Brad. When you had those talks, say, with Giannis and the other guys you've coached, similar types in terms of personalities and what they want to accomplish as far as players?
Yeah, I mean, all of us are different. All of us are unique, but I think, the common thread is they want to win. They want to be coached. They want to be held accountable. They want to know what, the vibe of practice and just everything. They're kind of junkies usually. So it's been fun to visit with Devin and Brad and Kevin. And it's going to be crucial for me going forward.
Mike, if you could just go back a little bit during your time in Atlanta, your first year, getting used to everything, first round of the playoffs, second year, you guys won 60 games, Eastern Conference, but with mostly the same core. What was the difference between those from the first year to the second year?
Well, I mean, I do think for all of us, we grew a lot during that first year. I was a first-time head coach, trying to implement a system both defensively and offensively, and so there was a lot of growth from year 1 to 2. And if I'm being completely honest with you, Al Horford was hurt for a lot of year 1, and he's an amazing player and an amazing leader. Like, I owe so much to Al Horford. He was available and played, but I do think there was a lot of growth, including for me as a coach.
Coach, when you look at what's winning in the postseason right now, and you think about this roster, what do you feel like are the biggest strengths of what this group can do that can kind of win against what's winning at the top level right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you get to the playoffs, James kind of referenced shooting and I think shot making, having guys that can make shots and play in the playoffs and play against this level of defense and can bend the defense and maybe create double teams or help and rotations. And so I think we have 3 elite shot makers, which is something that you need in the playoffs. And really, I would say 3 elite playmakers. I think Kevin Durant is very underrated as a playmaker. And I think Book and Brad have done more this past season. And, there are 3 guys that can just do everything. And you need those types of players in the playoffs. And then we need to grow and improve everywhere around them. And those guys need to get better too.
Coach, this team, really struggled in the fourth quarter with turnovers and stuff like that. There's been a lot of gnashing of teeth about a true point guard. How do you feel about point guards? Do you need does a true point guard even exist? Like, how do you feel about that position, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, the conversations have been great, and there's no doubt that we need to look at the whole roster and talk about point guard. I'm sure it's a hot button here. Whether it's with you guys, the media, the players, the front office, we need to think about it. And we need to be able to play without one. We probably need to be able to have one. We need to be versatile. We need to be able to play different ways, bigger, smaller. But I think the point guard position has a place. And we're going to talk about it and figure it out. But I just know we're going to need to be able to play lots of different ways, including without a point guard.
Coach, having coached Grayson Allen in the past and looking at the year he had last season, how do you plan to build off that? And were you kind of surprised, or is that what you expected to see from him?
No, I'm not surprised at all by Grayson. I mean, he there's so many great players that I've had the good fortune to be around, but he's right up there. I love that guy. I love his toughness. I love his competitiveness. The way he was able to take his shooting to that next level this year. I wasn't surprised. I was just very, very happy for him, to be honest with you. It's a big year for him. He's earned a great contract and extension with us. And, he and I have been talking and laughing. And, I think we probably never wanted to be separated. And now we're back together. And, it's pretty cool.
Coach, how was your family's reaction of you just coming back to Arizona and you getting the job? Were they just super excited?
Yeah, I mean, I would say they're just going crazy. Whatever word you want to use that equates to crazy and happy and proud and just it's been a lot of fun for us.
Coach, what does it look like to hold players accountable? What is that? Is that like a process from practice to game day?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's everywhere and all the time. And, I think we want to set a standard and an expectation of each other. And we want to all hold each other to that standard. So it's practice, it's film sessions, it's shoot-arounds, it's games, it's timeouts, it's half times. And I think the other thing that's important that our group will learn is, I think, to teach from the positive too. There's lots of things that our players do well. There's lots of things as a group that we do well, and we want to build on that. We want to show that and learn from that and teach from that. And then, if and when we need to show areas where we need to improve and hold people accountable, then we do that too.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks,
Coach.
Yep.